Hey, welcome back. Last we were here, I was talking to this man behind, and I do like that I'm really looking right between the bars there. Pretty cool little. I mean, it's hard not to look through, but I think it's a cool perspective. This guy's just in there, just I want to know his story now. Um, well, if he's put behind bars for good reason, um, I'm going to assume that he does not like the Golden Rule, but I don't know if they keep prisoners who really don't belong there.
Gold? You mean treasure? My name's Dooley. I live here now because I got in trouble and they said they had to lock me up. I don't know. I don't remember things so good. I think it's just because I was looking for treasure.
Tell me anything you're going to steal.
No! I would never! I'm good! They said I did it more than once, but I can't remember things so good. Then they called me mean names. They called me a liar, Billy.
Liar Billy, yes. Poor guy.
They said I have to live here now, and gave me this letter. But I'm not good with words. Do you think you could read it for me?
Magistrate sentence explains Dooley was locked up prevented from trespassing. Ooh, prevention measures. Okay. I am writing to you in relation to your incorrigible antisocial behavior arising from your obsession with an alleged lost treasure. While I am sympathetic to your plight and the passing of your guardian Hannibal some weeks ago, I wish to impress upon you an important message. The treasure you seek does not exist. Given your memory limitations, it seems likely you simply misremembered. More importantly, since you have on several occasions been caught trespassing, including around the cisterns, which are strictly off limits to all citizens, I have reluctantly come to the conclusion that you are a liability to this community and must have your freedom limited, lest you break the golden rule. Hold on one sec. Apologies about that. It was a local number, so I didn't want to ignore it. It is my hope that this letter will assist you to remember why you were incarcerated, should you experience further lapses in memory.
What does it say?
It says they caught you trespassing several times, and they locked you up to stop you breaking the golden rule. Okay, I'm lying to him.
My treasure! My friend Hannibal used to look after me. He said he always would. But then, he died. It was very sad. He said, if anything ever happened to him, I had to find something very precious hidden away. He gave me this key and made me promise to keep it safe until I found the treasure.
Give me the key, bro.
But I couldn't find it. All I remember is he said something about the cisterns, but when I went up to the high one, they put me in here. Now nobody looks after me, except my friend Galerius and Ek, the priestess lady. She's a nice lady.
Yes.
Hannibal said I shouldn't give it to anyone I didn't trust. But maybe you could help me get out of here. Then I would trust you a lot.
Okay, let me talk to the magistrate.
Already tried that. He said the magistrate wouldn't listen, no matter what. What about the rules? I don't want everyone to get in trouble because I was bad. Like Galerius. He's nice. I like Galerius. He made me a doll and everything. If you help make him magistrate, he can get me out of here, and I can give you the key to my treasure. Hannibal said it was in the cisterns. I can't remember what it was, just that it was way up high and very precious. Bye-bye.
Don't you just love springtime? I saw you slide down that rope before. Very impressive. And strange, too, since that device you used is exactly the same as one I've been working on for weeks. There I was thinking I'd invented it. Anyway, I'm sorry to ask, but is there any chance you'd be willing to do me a favor?
Really?
Well, I've been trying to get this rare flower from the rock spire in the middle of the lake. It's too steep to climb, so I hung a rope over the lake and made this pulley device, only I couldn't quite summon the nerve to use it. Do you think you could use the device again and try to get that flower for me?
Yeah.
I don't really feel comfortable talking about it. Look, I'll tell you everything if you get it for me, all right? Oh, thank you. It would help me a lot. There's no rush, just whenever you get a chance. All right, see you around.
Also, can I convince them to be magistrate?
No. I've bounced the idea around once or twice, mainly as a way of getting Dooley set free. God knows Sentius is never going to do it. But from what I hear, Malleolus has the election stitched up. Nobody's going to take him on and win. And maybe that's not such a bad thing. I mean, he talks a lot, so I'm hoping if he's elected, he'll release Dooley from his cell. That's good enough for me. Because Sentius put him there. Poor Dooley was just wandering around looking for some imaginary treasure. Now a magistrate accused him of being a thief. That's nonsense, of course. Dooley's the most harmless man you'll ever meet. But Sentius really has it in for him, for some reason. Gladly. I've bounced the idea around, but for maybe... All right.
Help! You have to do something! A man arrived in the baths. A real nasty sort, with his face all covered up. And he's got a weapon. You have to do something, or he's going to break the golden rule. Fabia, but now's not the time. Are you going to help or not? None of us do. The magistrate made us throw them all into the chasm. So now this man's bow is the only one in the city. You'll just have to improvise. Bow. Thank you. He's still in there, somewhere. I have to hide. Find me in this empty shrine when it's over. What? We don't have time for this. I have to go. The shrine is collapsing.
Fabia, no! Oh God, she's dead! Did anyone see that? The whole shrine just collapsed on her! Oh, Fabia, why did you have to go in there? Poor sweet girl! I can't believe she's dead. Fabia, I mean. She walked into that empty shrine, and the next moment she is lying dead under a pile of rubble. The gods are cruel and unjust. She was like a daughter to me. I'm sorry, friend. It's not right for me to lay my burden upon you. I can't believe the gods...
Uh-oh.
Stop right there. I'm looking for Tiberius Quinctius Crispus, otherwise known as Quinctius. Do you know where he is? I'm not sure I believe that, so allow me to explain something to you. I am here with orders from Emperor Nero himself to find and execute the cultist Quinctius for terrible crimes against the Empire. So, if you tell me the truth, I will allow you to live. But if you lie to me or otherwise obstruct the Emperor's business in any way, I will put this arrow through your chest. Is that understood? You are not off to a good start. When I ask you a question, I expect an answer. Is that understood? Thank you. Now tell me, who are you people, and what is this place?
Just a small community of strangers. You wound up here by accident.
A small community. I was told Quinctius was a cultist, but I never thought he'd be foolish enough to lead me right to the heart of his mystery cult. Oh, don't play coy with me. I don't care if you're worshipping Bacchus, Magna Mater, or Christ. You lot are all the same to me. Always sneaking off to your secret sanctuaries, indoctrinating each other with your little mantras. The Emperor may have tolerated your activities up until now, but after what Quinctius did, those days are numbered. You say that, but if you're not a cult, then why go to such great lengths to keep this place a secret? So you admit you're not allowed to leave. Threatening me is not going to help you, but in any case, that sounds an awful lot like a cult to me. And I saw the inscription saying, "The many shall suffer for the sins of the one." I take it this is some kind of mantra you all believe? You've clearly been indoctrinated into this nonsense. Now tell me, where did you lot get enough gold to make all these statues?
There were once people who returned to gold as
You lot are
punishment.
practicing human sacrifice too. You people disgust me. Of course you'd say that, but that's what your kind do, isn't it? Our God told us to do it. It's all clear to me now. The secret sanctuary, the indoctrination, the mantra, the human sacrifice. You're cultists, there's no doubt in my mind. What baffles me is how a person can believe in something with such zeal. They just can't see what they've become. However, you still have a chance to redeem yourself by telling me where Quinctius is. Do not waste it. Very well. Here's what I know. He's a 40 to 50-year-old man with distinctive eyes, one green and one blue. He's also known to have delusions of grandeur. The Emperor says he and his cult, your cult, are responsible for starting the fire which burnt half of Rome to the ground and killed thousands in the process. All I know, all I care about, is that the Emperor believes he is guilty and wants him dead. The details are not concern. This is your last chance. Are you going to tell me where he is or not? Then you're of no use to me. Do you have any last words?
Just crazy.
And there's a simple explanation for that. I lied. But if you want to know the truth before you die, here it is. Once I'm done with you and Quintius, I intend to kill every last one of you wretched degenerates. And I can think of nothing I'd enjoy more.
The many shall suffer for the sins of the one.
This is an interesting one. Okay. Will I talk to him no matter what? Yep. Julia's dying, but Lucretia can't help. Oh, okay.
Julia? Oh no. Alright, I can do that. I'll go, but once I'm done, I'll need you to tell me how you know all of this.
Don't steal anything, don't hurt anyone, don't. Whoever wrote this didn't get a chance to finish, evidently. I think I did see that. Huh. And I'm pretty sure I saw a skeleton behind there. Yep. Okay, I'd love to know what that is.
Cerberus lifts his dribble head and lets out his threefold braying.
Livia, would you stop muttering like Medea over a cauldron? You'll scare away my customers.
They follow their trades, imitating their previous lives, but they are ignorant.
This again. You're in a world of your own, aren't you? Oh, you're here. And there's something. Oh, I see. You prefer the company of men. Let's just forget that ever happened.
You know, normally, I'd... Straight to business. As a matter of... I'm happy to tell you. So... It's hardly my fault if people misunderstand the terms of a deal. I mean, it does say, let the buyer beware, right outside my tavern. All right, see you.
You, Sisyphus, attack or pursue the stone and all.
I don't know how to drop off from it, though. Ooh.
Salve!
You, Sisyphus, attack and pursue the stone.
How do you drop off? It didn't tell me. Oh, wait. I was able to drop off. I just don't know what the...
Salve again, friend. I went and did as you asked, and it worked. How is it possible that you've just arrived here and you already know everyone and exactly what's about to happen to them?
And we're living the same day over and over.
You're toying with me, right? Wait, you're not kidding, are you? That's the only way you could have known. You're a bit like... Oh, what was his name? Sisyphus. Yeah, that's the one. Old King Sisyphus. Sisyphus was a Greek king a long time ago. For daring to think he could outsmart the gods, he was given a terrible punishment. He was forced to push a great boulder up to the top of a hill. Only, just as it reached the top, it would roll all the way back down to the bottom, forcing him to start over and over and over again.
I remember that from Hades.
Just like you. Actually, now that I think about it, there are a bunch of old stories about the gods punishing people by making them do the same futile task over and over. Tantalus was made to grasp at fruit on a tree he could never quite reach. The Pleiades had to keep fetching water in a sieve. Oh, and Ixion was strapped to a wheel going round and round forever. But on the bright side, at least you're not stuck in the underworld like they all were. Anyway, I don't know which god you managed to upset to get yourself into this position, friend, but you seem all right to me. So, I'll tell you what. I'll keep doing whatever I can to help you. And you just focus on finding a way to break the cycle you're in. Oh, that's kind of you to say. Now, I'm going to keep your secret. Although, it's not as if I'll remember this next time we talk anyway, right? Oh, and if our conversations ever start to annoy you, just tell me you're busy. I know when I'm not wanted. May fortune smile on you, friend.
Yeah, I made a friend. Or did I? Maybe he's a dark, sinister man who only seems good. Ooh. Okay, let me go back up and try each button one at a time until I'm sure I know which one. And then I just drop off near the beginning. Is it X? Nice.
I saw you slide down that rope before. And straight. Oh, of course. It's because I already gave it to you in a previous time loop, isn't it? Anyway, I'm sorry to ask, but well, I've been trying. It's too steep. Do you think you could use? Really? You already have it? I picked it up in a previous loop, I suppose. It's gonna take me a while to get my head around that. This is going to make her so happy. Equitia, I mean. Now I just have to figure out how to give it to her. What I really want to do is walk up to her, give her the flower, and confess I've been madly in love with her since the moment we met. But on the other hand, I can't shake the feeling that the consequences could be terrible. You mean, aside from her execution? You see, Equitia is a Vestal priestess, meaning she's taken a vow of chastity, the breaking of which would be an extremely serious affront to the gods and a capital offense. Even if she was just suspected of being unchaste, it could lead to her execution. Unchaste Vestals get buried alive. Oh, and I'd get flogged to death for good measure. But at the same time, she's just so kind and graceful, and I feel so much love for her that if I don't tell her, it'll burn a hole in my chest. I don't know what to do. What do you think? What would you do?
I think you should tell her how you feel. Consequences be damned. I think you can admire her discreetly from afar. If you really love her, you need to get over her. I think that might
I've told myself that 100 times, but I just can't stop thinking about her. But you're right. I just hope I have the strength. I've bounced the idea around, but from maybe that. Gladly. All right.
I have the pretty flower.
Welcome. Feeling all right? Sure. What do you want to... How did you know that? Yes, she did mutter something about the only way out. A few times, but nothing more than that, I'm afraid. Gladly. That's a shame.
Yes, I did save.
Sorry, I'm still a bit out of it. Was there something you wanted? No. I did hear from Ulpius that she disappeared. It's very sad. She was such a lovely young woman. But I'd been locked in Malleolus's villa for months before she went missing, so I can't help you, I'm afraid. All right.
May Apollo keep you safe.
I don't even know where Corsia is.
Help! You have to do something! A man, you have to do...
Idea who's threatening Virgil?
Are you serious? This... Are you going to... Thank you. I have to hide. What? Why? All right, fine. Come and find me in my bakery instead. Please be careful.
Nice. Okay, let me try this dude again.
Stop right there. I'm Thank you. For your service to the Empire, I'll let you live for now, but you'd best make sure our paths don't cross again.
Ah!
Filthy, lying degenerate.
Different colored eyes. Huh. 40 to 50, average height, average build, dark hair, one green eye and one blue eye. Nice. Okay, where do I go to find her? Let's see.
You there? I'm sorry to trouble you, but I couldn't help but notice that fine bow you're carrying. No idea how you managed to get your hands on it, especially in the light of our dear old magistrate's ban, but I'm impressed. And before you ask, no, I wouldn't dream of trying to buy it from you. I have no use for a wooden bow myself. But I would like to propose a joint business venture of sorts. Tell me, do you have any idea how people here end up as golden statues?
Yes, I do.
And here I was thinking I was the only one to figure it out. In any case, supposedly one or two of those arrows is enough to turn a full-grown man into gold. Now, of course, that is a travesty, a terrible, horrible waste of human life which has to be stopped. And yet, on the other hand, I can't help but think of a tale told by that Greek fella Aesop, the goose that laid the golden egg. With the ability to transmute organic matter into gold, one could create infinite wealth. Use your imagination. Golden animals, insects, trees and plants. The Midas touch without the drawbacks. We are talking riches beyond imagining. And even if we were to split all those riches between the two of us, half of infinite wealth is still infinite. Interested? Excellent. So the first question is, how do we get our hands on one of those golden bows? Now, I have a plan, but first, tell me, are you familiar with the story of the goddess Diana? No problem. Allow me to explain. Diana is our goddess of the hunt, the moon, and the underworld, depending on who you ask. The one thing priests and poets agree on is that she carried with her a golden bow and a quiver of golden arrows. And it just so happens that there is a shrine of Diana in this very forum, with a prominent statue of the goddess herself. And would you like to guess what she's holding in her hand? Precisely. I can't tell you how many hours I've spent in that temple staring at it, trying to figure out how to retrieve it without breaking you-know-what. Oh, gods, no. If you tried that, we'd all be dead within moments, I'm sure. No, here's what I propose. You give your bow to me, I cover it in a thin layer of gold leaf, and we create a replica of a golden bow. Then, you enter the shrine, extinguish the braziers, and under cover of darkness, swap out the fake for the original. It's not theft exactly, it's more of a trade.
That was still...
This is a dangerous path, and there's no way of knowing where it will lead. But in my experience, all the best adventures begin with a risky first step. Now, you must have questions. Ask away.
Not extremely dangerous. I mean,
when
yeah,
Prometheus
they
stole
still
fire
know.
from the gods and became a hero to all mankind, do you think he was worried about the danger? I'm more of an ideas man, whereas you're obviously the more resourceful and heroic type. I have complete confidence in you. Because the gods would see you, of course. Head. So, are you in, partner?
If you don't like horror action elements, feel free to decline.
Are you sure? Last chance. Wonderful. Now, if If you'll hand over your bow, I can get started applying a layer of gold leaf. This is a quality weapon. Now, bear with me for a moment. And here we are, a gold leaf bow. Now I've gone and unlocked the Shrine of Diana for you, so as quick as you can, head on inside. It's just at the end of the street on the left. May the gods not watch over you.
Here's what I want to know. Where's the bakery?
A new face, Arve, and may Vesta watch over you.
Ah.
Quatia, to what do I owe the pleasure of this visit? Oh my, I take it people are quite direct where you're from. I suppose it's quite charming in its own way. Usually, however, you wouldn't simply march up to a Vestal priestess and without due formality or courtesy ask, "What is your story?" The proper approach would be to arrange an introduction through a mutual acquaintance in high office, by which time you would already know how to address me. And then you would find a way to satisfy your curiosity rather more indirectly. But to be honest, I've often thought what an unnecessarily formal way to communicate that is. So, let's do it your way. You just keep being yourself and ask whatever you like. It'll be a refreshing change. You know, I'm not entirely sure. But what about you? How did you end up here?
Karen.
Karen, you say? And nothing about that name seemed odd to you? Why is that? The names? What are the names? So, a bit like Egyptian hieroglyphs, then? So your people make hieroglyphics depicting this accursed character, the one they call Karen. I wonder if... No.
What are you going to say?
I apologize. I don't mean to be cryptic. It's just that you've got me thinking. Have you spoken with any of the others about how they arrived here too? I really think you should. Go around and ask them what they remember and see if you notice any patterns. Good. Thank you. But please be careful. I just don't want to see what happened to Livia happen to you, too.
May have already noticed, but yeah, I was waiting for that.
Up until a few weeks ago, she was a perfectly productive member of our little community, darning clothes and cutting hair. She was always so chatty, always seeking out newcomers and asking them where they were from and how they wound up here. And then, about a month ago, she suddenly changed. She withdrew, stopped working and became despondent, started muttering to herself. Galerius and I visited her to see how we could help. But she just looked at us with this haunted stare, called us bloodless shadows and told us we were ignorant of some pattern. Look, it could be unrelated. Perhaps she simply fell ill. Or, as Galerius suggested, the weight of the Golden Rule was too much for her. But there is a small chance that she learned something, saw a pattern nobody else saw, and that it broke her. I just don't want to see that happen to you. So be careful, will you?
I wonder if she got stuck in this loop too?
Then what is it? Yes, I also had such an encounter. What else? That's true. I know I wasn't entirely sure how I wound up here. What else? Yes, I understand many of our friends were carried here by a river current. It's as I feared. I think I understand what poor Liv has been going through. You mentioned earlier you met a young woman in the forest named Karen, yes?
That's right.
And was this Karen, by any chance, wearing
No.
a hood?
I don't... Oh, a hoodie! Yeah, that.
I've seen her before. There's something I think you should see. I think you'd better follow me to the baths. But don't follow too closely. We can't have people thinking we're bathing together.
I also want to know where that other woman went. Fabia? Like, I don't know where the not really where she went, but where the heck's the bakery?
All right, you're here. You were asking how I knew the young woman you met by the river was wearing a hood. Here,
Same reason.
look down at the bottom of the baths. It's a little hard to make out in this light. If only we could see. Oh, what a marvelous lamp.
Huh.
But do you see it? Somebody waking up by a river in a forest to find a hooded figure with a coin. It's just as you described it, only your pronunciation is a little off. The name you heard wasn't Karen. It was C-H-A-R-O-N, as in Charon, the ferryman of the dead.
Ah.
Who, in exchange for the right coin, helps the souls of the newly deceased cross the Styx, the river that separates the land of the living from the land of the dead.
When I dragged you out of the river, I thought you were never gonna wake up. I checked your pockets for ID, but all I found was some loose change. Feels like I've spent my whole life in a dead-end job with an endless commute.
Oh.
Sorry if I sounded cagey, it's just that I don't always get the best reactions when I introduce myself. My name's Karen.
There are a bunch of old stories about the gods punishing people by making them do the same futile task over and over. But, on the bright side, at least you're not stuck in the underworld like they all were.
I'm so sorry, my friend. I'm so sorry. I take it you know what this means.
This place is the underworld?
I'm afraid so. It's all starting to make sense. All these people whose last memory was running from the fires toward the river. It seems none of them escaped with their lives after all. Perhaps we should be grateful they don't remember their final moments. It also tells us that the Golden Rule is the work of Pluto, the god of the underworld, and why his epithet has always been Father of Riches. I know it's a lot to take in, and you look as if you have questions, so I'll try to answer them if I can.
Interesting. So we're dead.
That was my first thought too. In the old stories, the underworld was where the souls of the deceased were taken. But it was also possible for the living to reach it without dying, if they were particularly fearless. So I'm afraid I don't know.
I was going to look at part 1 again to see if she pronounced it differently, but Karen... That's interesting. You think it's just a joke, but... It's funny, though. He didn't really say much in Hades, now did he?
Oh, I'm sorry. I keep forgetting you're not from here. If you were Roman, or even Greek, you would know these stories. Each of them is slightly different, whether the storyteller was Plato, Homer, Virgil, or Ovid. But they always involved the souls of the dead meeting a grim ferryman named Charon on the bank of a river. It was said that he'd help the new arrival cross, only if they could pay him with a coin, an obol. That's why it was once our custom to bury our loved ones with a coin in their mouths. Charon's obol, we called it. Of course, an obol was a kind of Greek coin, because we inherited this knowledge from the Greeks.
Why didn't you all recognize Charon immediately?
To be fair, the ferryman isn't exactly as the poets described, and he, she, they seem to appear to different people in different guises. You say you saw a young woman named Karen with a hood, and I once heard Kabash mention a stranger in a ram headdress named Kerti, and Rufius described meeting a stranger named Kumut Tabal wearing an eagle headdress. But whatever form this stranger took, they were always wearing a hood of some sort, and their name always began with a K sound. I suspect the only way you'll solve this riddle is if your paths cross again.
Ooh. That I'm wondering. And the magistrate, then, doesn't understand.
Good question. Let's see. In the stories, Charon would always require a coin as payment for passage across the river. But that never made any sense to me. What does an ancient immortal being need with coins? In our case, it seems Charon didn't take the coins we had. He or she merely checked we had one in our possession. So, maybe there's something special about the coins each of us had on us. That might explain why we wound up here, but so many others did not. No. I mean, I had my suspicions, especially after Livia's ramblings, but I would never have figured it out without your help. I promise you.
I got my better half. My better half is hungry. Alright. Well, that's a big twist.
We have to figure out what to do about it if we don't want to be cast into gold for eternity. We don't have much to go on, except the old stories. I remember 4 in particular about heroes in the underworld. Hercules, the demigod and son of Jupiter. Orpheus, a Thracian poet. Sisyphus, a king of Ephyra. And Aeneas, a Trojan hero. Hercules was able to leave the underworld because he cowed its god with his strength. Sisyphus and Orpheus both relied on their wits instead. They persuaded the goddess of the underworld, Proserpina, to help them escape. And finally, Aeneas was able to escape with the help of a spirit guide, who led him through a secret gate. So it seems you have 2 options: to confront the god of the underworld head-on, or find a way to escape with the help of Proserpina or some other guide. All Romans try to avoid saying it, and the reason is quite simple. He might hear us. You may refer to him as Pluto, if you wish, but you'll only be calling attention to yourself. Do so at your own peril. It's a reasonable question, but the problem is, this place is fairly well designed to keep us here. There's no way to climb up the shaft. And even if you could build a ladder big enough, just trying it would break the golden rule. We know that, thanks to the writings left behind by those who've tried.
Shh!
Is everyone so blunt where you're from? That option would be the boldest, but also the only way to learn the truth about the Golden Rule, and maybe even put an end to it. As I said, Hercules managed to overpower the god of the underworld, but he was a demigod. Forgive my candor, but you are no Hercules. Are you telling me that you can? I won't pretend to understand exactly what that means, but if that's true, then perhaps you stand a chance. So, if you want to confront him, I'll help you as much as I can. Who knows? Perhaps your name will be uttered in the same sentence as Hercules one day. But first, you'd need an audience with you-know-who, and for that, you'll need to enter the great temple overlooking the city. The problem is, the door has been sealed shut for as long as I've lived here, and there doesn't even seem to be a keyhole. I suspect the answer lies in the desecrated obelisk in front of it. I'm not sure if you noticed, but there are 4 plaques missing from its base. It looks as though somebody, or a series of somebodies, forcibly removed them, and in doing so, dishonored and angered our divine keeper. If you could recover and replace all 4 of those missing plaques, I imagine he might be willing to receive an audience again. It's the towering stone monument with 4 sides and a pyramid-shaped head that stands before the great temple, a dedication to the god of this place. You'll find them all over Rome, but of course they were looted from Egypt many years ago. It seems one of them made its way here too, although how is a mystery. However, this one is unusual in that each of the 4 sides is decorated in a different style: Roman, Greek, Egyptian, and another I don't recognize. That means you'll need to recover 4 different plaques: Roman, Greek, Egyptian, and a 4th, a mystery plaque. Good question. To answer that, we first need to ask who would have defaced the obelisk in the first place. It would have had the god's name engraved into it, so it may be that whoever desecrated it wanted that name to be forgotten. And there's only one group of people I know of who might want to do that. In Rome, that often argued there is only one true god. Theirs, of course. They've been known to start fires, as well as deface religious monuments whose existence challenged their beliefs. If I were you, I'd go looking for them. Of course, they've all been in hiding since the fire last year, so finding them won't be easy. But I did hear a rumor they have a secret shrine somewhere in the city. Perhaps, if you could find that, you might be able to recover the Roman plaque.
Interesting.
I don't know. But perhaps you should begin your search with the local Greek fellow, Georgius. His store is in the Forum.
I don't think I've been to the Forum yet.
Perhaps Kabash, our Egyptian resident, will be able to tell us. Unfortunately, he disappeared weeks ago. But I did hear Aurelia is peddling rumors about him at the tavern, so perhaps you could talk to her, or just take a look in his room. I'm afraid you're on your own with that one. But perhaps finding the other 3 will illuminate the way. As I mentioned, both Orpheus and Sisyphus were said to have persuaded Proserpina to help them escape, and Aeneas was guided to the exit. The problem is, those are the stories of a poet, a self-aggrandizing king, and a brawler about their own heroic deeds, so they should be taken with a grain of salt. First, Proserpina. What we do know about her is, well, it's a grim tale. It's said the god of the underworld abducted and dragged her here against her will, forcing her into marriage. If the stories are true, then I suppose so. The problem is, how do we communicate with her without being noticed by her captor? Leaving that aside for a moment, there is also the possibility of a spirit guide. I don't suppose you've come across one of those in your travels?
I hear the female statues whispering to me. Yeah.
But you're only bringing this up now. Then again, I suppose you were worried I'd think you were as mad as Navia.
Yep.
Can you tell me more? Is it the same voice? What kinds of thing does it say?
The same voice. He's helpful, if a little cryptic.
Fascinating. Perhaps she is a benevolent spirit. Or perhaps... Perhaps you're hearing the voice of Proserpina herself. If she has indeed been abducted, it would make sense for her to speak in cryptic whispers to avoid detection. Tell me, has she told you anything that might lead you to the way out?
She said, "Wade against the current, and her tears run through the city, and she weeps where the water flows."
That is strange. There are no rivers here. Let me think on that. Well, as far as I can tell, water flows into the city from an aqueduct into one of two cisterns, the upper cistern. If that's the current she's talking about, then perhaps you need to get into the upper cistern somehow. I vaguely recall wondering what was in there, but the door at the back of the great temple is locked up tight. You might be able to get a key from the magistrate, but if that doesn't work, perhaps you can find another way in. Let me know if you find anything in there. All right. I would suggest not discussing this with anyone. The best we can do for them is to let them remain oblivious for as long as possible. As for Livia, it seems she's been shouldering the weight of this terrible secret all this time. Perhaps it would comfort her to know she's not alone.
Yeah, I'll chat with Livia
In any
first.
case, time is of the essence, so you'd best begin.
So this is different. I'm not trying to...
You need her with Proserpina on your side.
Like... I was trying to, find out who's going to break the golden rule, but... doesn't seem like anybody is. I'm going to try not to start the loop. For as long as possible, since she already knows my situation.
Salve, Dooley. How are you doing today?
I'm sad. Am I going to die?
I don't think so, my friend. It's election day today. Perhaps our new magistrate will be kinder than Sentius and let you out.
I hope so. Galerius, what happens when you die?
You're not going to die anytime soon, Dooley.
My mother told me, when you die, a ferryman helps you cross a river, and your spirit lives on in the underworld. Is that true?
Well, yes, but...
Is it true that if you were good, you get to go to Elysium, but if you were bad, you get punished forever and ever in Tartarus?
Something like that, but...
If I die and go to Tartarus, because they say I've been bad.
I'm not going to let that happen to you, Dooley. I promise.
Thank you, Galerius. Thank you.
Now, I have more work to do, but I'll visit you again soon, alright?
Alright, Galerius. See you then.
citizen. We're finally alone. We have? I must have entrusted you. Is that about right? Seems rather brash, but I think it's best if I... You mean to ask, why am I unwilling to trust a newly arrived non-citizen with access to our water supply, the lifeblood of this city? I'm sorry, but that is simply out of the question. Yes, our water supply. From you. I wasn't born yesterday. Poisoning a city's water supply is the oldest trick in the Codex. Quite literally. Aeneas the Tactician wrote a siegecraft manual for military commanders some 300 years ago, recommending the poisoning or pollution of systems. And I'm beginning to wonder if the culprit we're looking for might, after all this, be you. Perhaps it was a mistake on my part to place so much trust in you. I'm glad to hear that. Now, was there something else? You mean Duilius? Releasing him is out of the question, I'm afraid. That man is a liability we simply cannot afford. Perhaps you're not aware he was caught multiple times, sneaking around in places he should not have been. Look, I can see where you're going with this. You think me cruel. I assure you that is not the case. You may not be aware of this, but it was not so long ago, during the Republic, the law of the 12 Tables would have required that he be killed as soon as he was born, owing to his deformities. Here we see to it that he has food, water, and shelter, and most importantly, he is able to continue living. A privilege that would be taken away from all of us were he to be released and commit the crime of trespass. The man has no self-discipline, poor comprehension of what is going on around him, and is an incorrigible rule-breaker. I will not jeopardize the lives of my people so that one man can go free. Now, was there something else? Of course, what is it? If you stopped one person from breaking it and you're still here, then there must be someone else about to break it still. Allow me to explain. When I discovered the ritual to Proserpina, the instructions came with a warning about paradoxes. The crux of it is this. If you do anything to change the course of history in such a way that your very being here is impossible, you will have created a paradox. To illustrate, when the Golden Rule is broken, I will open the doorway that will bring you here to prevent it from being broken. If you manage to succeed in saving our lives, then I will have no reason to open the doorway, and you will never have come here. A paradox. You see? The same thing would happen if you, say, inadvertently, allowed me to die. If I can't summon you, then you can't be here, obviously. If either of those things were to happen, I am given to understand you would be flung back to your original time, having changed the course of history for us and yourself. So the fact that you are still here means someone is going to break the Golden Rule, and there is yet work to do. Understand? Excellent. So it looks like you'll have to continue your investigation. Now, was there anything else you wanted to ask? Thank you. I'll be waiting here for news.
It's going to be nighttime. Hey.
Hey.
Hello?
Don't worry about the eggs. I'll cook something else.
What about the eggs?
I asked you to cook me 3 eggs and toast.
You did?
Yeah.
Oh, shoot. Oh, no. Honey, I can still do that. Okay. Oh. Had this on silent. Ooh. Hope I can get over that. Ooh, that killed the last of me. Okay. Oh. This is your last warning, Sinner. Oh. Shade refused to stop threatening Virgil. Oh, phallic charm, thought by the Romans to have divine protective properties. Okay.
Cerberus lifts his dribble head and lets out his threefold braying.
Livia, would you stop muttering like Medea over a cauldron? You'll scare away my customers.
They follow their trades, imitating their previous lives, but they are ignorant.
This again. You're in a world of your own, aren't you?
Just as the ocean accepts the rivers of all, but it doesn't.
I know where we
Say
are.
it. Speak its name. Then it is true. I was right. I thought I saw it, but when the rest of them could not, I kept thinking I must have gone insane. I had to tell myself it was true over and over again, until I wasn't sure if I was deceiving myself. I must apologize if my words seem cryptic. I'd found comfort in reciting the Metamorphoses by our great poet Ovid. He gives such an uncanny description of this place. I cannot help but wonder if he himself came here. Would you like to hear it?
I just realized I have to be
I
somewhere.
will do my best to remember the relevant verse. There is a downward path, gloomy with fatal yew trees. It leads through dumb silence to the infernal regions. The sluggish Styx exhales vapor, and by that way, the shadows of the newly dead descend, entombed with full rites, and the ghosts of those, at last, given proper burial. The wide, thorny waste is cold and pallid, and the newly arrived shades are ignorant of the road that leads to the Stygian city, where Black Dis has his cruel palace. As the ocean accepts the rivers of all the world, so this place accepts all the souls, and is never too small for any populace, nor notices the crowds that come. There the bloodless shadows wander without flesh or bone. Some crowd the forum, some the house of the ruler of the depths. Others follow their trades, imitating their previous lives. And still others incur punishment. I hope I have done it justice, and now we share a secret. It's as if you've lifted a great burden from my shoulders. Thank you, friend. I think I should rest.
Mage, I'll suffer for the sins of humans.
Oh, you're here. And there's something How dare you? Get away from me, you pig. Oh, do us all a favour and drink hemlock cap murder.
I knew.
Malleolus isn't receiving visitors at the moment, it being election day. She's not here. Had to carry her to Lucretia's clinic this morning. Shrine of Apollo. She was acting sick. Faking it, if you ask me. Typical. Yeah? What have you got for me? Os in Coolio mio. Just make it good. Just make it good. Whatever. Hey! You're not thinking about going into the Sisters, are you? Nobody's told you about Hannibal? Ugh, why do I have to do everything round here? So, there was this guy called Hannibal, right? Funny accent. Used to go down into the Sisters looking for junk he could clean up and sell. One day, a few weeks back, he comes out and tells me the Sisters are haunted. Said he could hear spirits wailing. Of course, nobody believed him, because who trusts a Carthaginian, right? Anyway, a few days later, he goes back in. And hours go by, and he hasn't come back out, yeah? So I go down after him, and it's dark. But in the distance, I can just make out his body, sprawled out on the ground. And hunched over him was something that made my blood run cold. No word of a lie. I saw a creature. Like the corpse of a man who'd been flayed. And it was eating Hannibal.
Ooh.
What any sane person would have done. I legged it out of there and put a sign at the door to warn the others. Good idea.
That's weird.
Kill me. Please. End it.
Oh wait, it...
Kill me.
How do I end it? You want me to hurt you or kill you or whatever you want me to do. She's trying to kill me. Entering the sister in the cave beyond. Maybe I should tell him, hey, I saw a thing. Oh. Whoops. Okay, well, I don't know if there's actually anything else to find, but... Oh. Only it's worth my weight. Interesting, okay. Latin inscription on the back which reads Sentia Death. Show the pen to Sentia. Oh. This game is something else. I still don't know if finding who's going to break the golden rule is in any way relevant. You know, since it seems like there's something bigger going on, but I'm curious.
What now? Whatever.
Are they?
Oh, I wish Horatius would stop. Oh, you heard about her disappearance, I take it.
Ooh, okay.
Oh no, that's Scintillus. The question is, what was it doing in the cistern?
Pounding around the neck of a skeleton.
A skeleton? Oh God, you mean she's... What do you mean? But didn't Domitius say there's some kind of creature down there that killed and ate Hannibal? Could it not have attacked her too? What are you saying? That somebody crept down there and put Scentilla's amulet on another body to make us think she was dead? Why would anyone do such a thing? What? You don't know her at all. She would never do such a thing. And even if she did, where is she now? So this is just baseless speculation then? I've heard enough. I won't have you peddling scurrilous gossip about my sister's tragic death. Kindly keep your insane conspiracy theories to yourself and leave me alone to grieve, you barbarian.
Well, she's mad at me now.
Let me grieve my sister's death in peace, will you?
But that's a pretty cool thing to find out. Today my father suggested I write a diary as a way of keeping myself occupied while we all deal with the sudden and devastating disappearance of my sister. As a dutiful daughter, of course I shall oblige. The following pages contain my innermost secrets. I know you're reading this, Father. I may be young, but do not think me stupid. We're all entitled to our secrets. Huh. That's funny. Aries.
Keep an eye out for Scintilla, would you? What is it, citizen? What business is that of yours? Ah, I see. So, she's dead then? I'm just thinking of how I'm gonna tell her father. I suppose it'll have to be tomorrow. After all the turmoil of the election is out of the way. Thanks for letting me know. All right? What now? All right?
We're finally alone. I must... Is that about... Look, now, Thank you.
Oh. Alm's friend, may the Lord bless and keep you. I'm sorry I cannot risk discussing this with you in person, but if I am right, then you're a believer like me. You may not be able to worship openly here, but know that you're not alone. If you ever feel like you need somewhere to pray, there's a special place waiting for you deep in the caves behind the theater. Turn right at the first fork and again at the second.
Fortune smile on you, brother.
Name's Rufius. Better watch your step. No idea what you're talking about. And I think you're an imbecile if you think that's going to work on me. I have nothing to say to you, Kaput. I have nothing.
But you're threatening Virgil.
how much all these statues are worth on the outside.
Fortune smile on you, brother.
All up to me, she says. The Myth of the Golden Rule by Duratus the Younger. As per our custom, I shall begin by paying my respects to the god responsible for this city. For our continued prosperity and tranquil seclusion, he deserves our admiration. But here I must depart from custom, for his attempt at imposing strict rule upon us is oppressive and overreaching and deserving of our contempt. Who among us has not awoken at night in a cold sweat, fearing some sort of accidental transgression of the Golden Rule? All of us must accept that we are all capable of error, whether from a momentary lapse in judgment or a conscious decision based on faulty reasoning. Yet the great threat, the sword of... Oh, I used to know this. The sword of Damocles? Damocles? I'll just say Damocles, and hopefully I'm right. That we live under is, I believe, merely a deception, and I shall prove it to you. Let me begin by dismissing the counter-arguments. First, it may be argued that the inscription stating the many shall suffer for the sins of the one is evidence that the Golden Rule is very real, but that is logically unsound, for we cannot assume the writers knew any more than we did. That this message was inscribed does not make it true any more than if I were to inscribe Duratus the Younger as a god. Second, it may be argued that the statues in this place are evident that the Golden Rule is real. You need not remind me of that. It was I who discovered them all around the city. It was I who collected them, placed them in a handcart, and placed them in the niches in which they sit today. I will not forget them, or I will not soon forget them, and yet I refuse to leap to the conclusion that they were once real people. There is simply no evidence to support that conclusion. When we read the story of Venus bringing Pygmalion's sculpture Galatea to life, we do not believe it is true. Why should we take a different view here? But ultimately, these arguments are just that. After years of living in fear, there is only one way for me to prove that the Golden Rule is a falsehood, and that is through action. Friends, I must apologize in advance for this, but one day you will see this moment as a turning point in our city's history. Let us see once and for all if the Golden Rule is real, and I strike one of you with my fist. Oh. Interesting. Just finding money all over the place. I wonder if that hemlock is relevant. Like, I need to buy the hemlock. It's legitimately relevant.
Salve.
Ave again. Did you find what you need? It must be completed by dusk, just the same as any other official business. It'll be between Sentius, the incumbent, and Malleolus, the challenger. Why do you ask? You can, assuming they're eligible and willing to accept the nomination. I like the idea, but I know Galerius well, and his position has always been that he won't run unless Malleolus withdraws. It was only yesterday that he said to me he'd only ever run if it was absolutely necessary to make sure Sentius wasn't re-elected. So, I suppose if you'd like to see Galerius elected magistrate, you'd need to persuade Malleolus to withdraw somehow. I'm responsible for announcing it and making sure the procedures are followed. Certainly. I'm quite sure it's the work of the gods, which is strange because they've never been particularly concerned with our misdeeds. We asked for blessings, for good health, bountiful harvest, but here, I find myself reminded of an especially pertinent... Would you like to hear it? I suppose so. Jupiter and Mercury put a town to the test by disguising themselves as vagrants and asking for shelter there. Everyone turned them away and failed that test, except for an old couple named Baucis and Philemon, and so the gods gave them time to escape and granted them a wish, and then wiped that town off the map. Some say the moral of that story is that we must all honor the sacred rituals of guest friendship, the reciprocal obligations owed between hosts and guests. But I like to think it's that we should always show compassion for those less fortunate than ourselves. A cynic philosopher might take that view, but it's not entirely invalid, I suppose. Certainly. May Fortuna guide you.
A seat on the Senate? 12 slave girls. Dear me.
Sometimes I stare at the great temple on the bluff, and I say, ah, a new face. I hear we have you to...
Yes, you do.
Nice to talk.
Greetings, I'm Georgius.
Want to know where I'm from, but I really just want to ask you some
My friend,
questions.
your words intrigue me more and more. But yes, very... And in a city full of Romans, you are asking me? Because I am Greek. Let me tell you something about Greeks and Romans. My name is Georgios, yes. But the Romans, they do not care. They hear me say Georgios, and they think, ah, he must mean Georgius. Good Roman. They do this all the time. They see us worshipping Zeus, they copy us, but call him Jupiter. They take Hades and call him Pluto, Persephone, Proserpina. I am flattered that they copy our ideas, but why must they change the names? Do they want credit for making it all up? Do they want to forget where it came from? At first, I pull my hair out. After a while, I give up, and I become Georgius the Roman. I accept the world is Roman. Plus, I have no hair left to pull. But my point is this. If you want to know who stole an old Greek name, look no further than the sticky-fingered Romans. The plague you seek was pilfered from a collection of old Greek relics by none other than Duli.
Really?
He cannot help it. Like a typical Roman, he likes shiny things, especially those that once belonged to my people. And besides, it makes him happy. So I say, let him keep it. I believe he still has it with him, in his cell, just opposite the Temple of Demeter.
Very
I hope that our
nice.
paths cross again soon, mate.
Hello? Hello?
Huh.
Do you like it? It's shiny, innit? It makes me happy just looking at it.
Hey, please have it.
If I gave it to you, then I wouldn't have it anymore, and I'd be sad. But it's mine, and I really like it. I want to keep it. Well, if you get me out of here, then I wouldn't need it anymore because I'd already be happy. Then you could have it, and you'd be happy too. Galerius already tried that. Yeah, Galerius will let me out. Then you can have my plaque, and everyone will be happy. My friend Hannibal used to look after me. He said, he gave me this key, and then all I remember is he said something about the cistern. Now nobody looks after me. Bye-bye. Hello. Bye-bye.
I did not do it. Interesting. Wait a minute, what? Bleaching clothes, did they do that?
Is that you, partner? Do you have the bow?
Oh, you locked me in here?
Wonderful. Just go ahead and slide it under the door for me and I'll unlock it for you.
No.
And yet you did. And now, here we are. With me out here and you in there. Until you give me my bow. No, technically, I never said that. I said, if we were to split all those riches between the two of us, infinite wealth is still infinite. It's hardly my fault if you can't tell the difference between a hypothetical and a promise, now is it? Oh, I do love a good loophole. Not a very effective threat, is it? See, your first problem is, you're in there, and I'm out here. Your second problem is the golden rule. What are you gonna do? Kill us all? It's an empty threat. The bow, now. And don't even think about giving me the fake one. I'll recognise my own handiwork. I would reconsider my position quickly if I were you. I'm not sure if you noticed, but you're stuck in there with a hornet's nest, and they can be rather aggressive toward intruders. You know, some say it takes 27 hornet stings to kill a man. but I always wondered how anyone could have known that. Let's find out if they were right, shall we?
Interesting. Oh dear. That's very interesting. Wow, okay. Let me move so I can see my thing. Okay. Whoops. Oh, still in the same spot. Let's see. Use the golden bow. Whoops. Interesting. This is so cool. Figuring this out. What else is down here? Ooh.
My beloved Galatea, I write this so that one day, when we're finally together, you will understand what I've done and why I had to do it. The others will call me mad or a monster, but I don't care what they think. Everything I'm doing here, I'm doing for you. I'll start at the beginning. Soon after my arrival here, as I walked down a corridor lined with golden statues, I thought I heard a whisper behind me. A rasp of air, as if vocal cords of metals. My beloved Galatea, I write this so that one day, when we're finally together, you will understand what I've done and why I had to do it. The others will call me mad or a monster, but I don't care what they think. Everything I'm doing here, I'm doing for you. I'll start at the beginning. Soon after my arrival here, as I walked down a corridor lined with golden statues, I thought I heard a whisper behind me. A rasp of air, as if vocal cords of metal strained to say a word or two. I tried to dismiss the idea, tried to concentrate on my work as the city's medic, but that tortured whisper haunted me. Weeks later, in the hallway to the bathhouse, I heard it again and found myself drawn to the statue of a Roman woman wearing a stola. Her face was contorted with anguish and fear, and disturbingly, it was as if she was looking right at me. As I walked past her, I heard that strained whisper again, and turning back, I discovered that even though I had moved, she was still looking right into my soul.
Yep.
That was when it dawned on me. This was no statue. This was a woman trapped within that golden prison. Naturally, I told the others, but when I could not reproduce the results of my experiment, they would not believe me. From that moment on, I knew the full horror of this place. Immobilized within these statues are living human beings. It was that day, my love, that my heart broke.
Boy, how freaky is that? These people are alive in those statues. Ah, and this is how we do it, and that's how we're gonna get up to the cistern. Yep, that's how we're gonna do it. Oh. So I'm in the palace now. That is so cool. That's so cool. Some performance issues, though. Thank you. So I can get past that one part, I think. What I meant was, I could kill a guy. I should be able to kick that statue down, guarding that one area.
Thank you.
Guess you're welcome. So, that's what the guy down there meant when he said kill me, which I kinda did, but I didn't really turn him to gold, so...
Supposed to be here.
Hit your kids.
Okay.
Tomorrow can you pick up the cat food cans?
Okay.
Oh, I was supposed to go back to 4 10-hour shifts starting Thursday, and I am, but I forgot my scheduled hair appointment at 4:30, so I'll be coming home that day, but I might be staying late next Monday. Oh, everybody's watching. Been listening.
Yay! Here, let me mute. Alright, time to see what items are here. This is interesting. This is more of an action-y part.
I need you also put that cat cage away, because it's going to rust up then.
Okay. I want to get to that guy. Scare him. He's like Patches. Trapping me places. Patches from Demon Souls. Whoa. Take a look at the scroll nearby. Ouch. Did I just die? Yeah. I can't find a scroll. Nice. Nice. Ooh.
My beloved Galatea, after I learned the terrible truth about the golden statues, I wandered the city as if in and who, praying to Aphrodite for aid, discovered that his beloved Galatea had come to life. It was then that I heard you whisper to me, Galatea. Forgive me. I know that is not your real name, just one I have borrowed from a story. But when I turned to look at you, I saw the most exquisitely beautiful woman I have ever known. Your face, forever frozen in a look of haunting silence. Our meeting gave me new purpose, to free you from your golden prison, so that I might one day hear you speak, not just whisper, your true name So I gathered tools for the long and difficult task ahead, barred the doors to this place, and set to work.
Stop. Help us. Please. Kill me. Help us.
Oh. Could have trapped him on the other side.
Kill me.
I guess I'll have to do it from here.
Help us.
Huh.
My beloved Galatea, my attempts at freeing these souls from their golden prisons have not been going to plan. My first charge was a Greek woman, who I called Iodame after the Athenian turned to stone by Medusa. Drilling through the gold that encased her, I was vindicated by the discovery that beneath half an inch of gold, which is so rigid it must be some kind of alloy, was living flesh. Unfortunately, this golden alloy seems to have fused with her skin, so removing it exposed the sinew and muscle beneath, and appeared to cause her great pain. At first, I braced myself, expecting that inflicting such pain would break the golden rule, and yet, somehow, it could not. It seems whichever god is responsible for imprisoning these poor souls does not care about their suffering at all. They are forsaken. Undeterred, I pressed on, working late into the night, attempting to remove the golden layer that encased her as delicately as I could. Eventually, I was able to free most of her body, but when I released her from her restraints, her first thought was to lunge for my throat, clawing at me with all her strength in those sharp metal talons. This was my chance to save her. Whatever possessed Iodame, she was clearly not a suitable subject for my experiment, and I was forced to lock her inside an isolated wing of the palace and bar the door. As I continued working on others, I could hear her flailing and launching herself at the other side endlessly. Regrettably, my other experiments bore similar results, and after relocating a few times, most of the palace is now too dangerous to work in. Still, as much as my heart aches to know that you're suffering, I cannot risk attempting to engage you yet. Not until I have perfected a method that will bring you back to me, whole in both mind and body, and ensuring your humanity is preserved. I promise you this. One day we will be together, even if I have to free every last statue in this gulch of place.
Oh boy. Oh dear. Oh dear.
And you must be the wretched snake who broke into my palace and disturbed my experiments. And, worst of all, look at what you made me do to her. This never would have happened if you just stayed away. You're going to pay for that. Liar! I locked and barred the gate. I left a message warning you all to leave me alone. I just wanted to do my experiments in peace, for her. And now look at her. You made me turn the most beautiful woman I've ever seen into this. Look at her. She's in agony. All I wanted was to spend my last moments with her, to see her beautiful face, to hear her speak freely, instead of in those cryptic whispers. But as soon as I began my work, she stopped whispering to me. And now I discover she started whispering to you instead. What's so special about you? What do you mean, the same voice? Yes. I remember when they used to whisper to me. They did sound similar. I just thought it was because all voices sound the same when they whisper. They were really benevolent and seem to share a common knowledge. But if these bodies are mere conduits for that one voice, then this body is nobody. And everything I've done here was... Wait, I see what you're doing.
No.
You're trying to steal her away from me.
No.
You're planning to wait until I've done all the hard work, then swoop in. Is that
No, I just need a cure for that disease.
Liar. You tried to steal her away from me, and now look what you made me do. Give me one good reason why I shouldn't peel you too. What? What are you talking about? Wait. So you're saying you weren't coming for us? So I did all this. I ruined her. For nothing. What have I done? Oh God, I feel sick. I can't bear the thought of her being like this. And in so much pain. It's the air. Coming into contact with her flesh. It's agonizing for them. But the only way to fix it will be to break the golden rule and let it run its course. At least that way she'd be golden again, and we'd be together. All it would take is one little cut.
Please don't.
It's too late. There's nothing you can do. I have to do this. I'm sorry. What? How? Really? I'm not sure I believe you. But if you can undo this mess, I'll tell you what you need to know. But if you're lying to me, I'll break the golden rule and kill you and everyone else in this city. Understood? You did it. You took away her pain. I don't know what to say. Thank you. Thank you. I swear I will never harm her again. I swear it. I'll stay here to keep her company. But these poor souls, what can be done for them? I've tried everything I can. I fear the only one capable of releasing them properly is whichever god doomed them in the first place. In any case, I must honor our bargain. The treatment for rheumatism is willow bark. I believe there's a pot of it already in the Shrine of Apollo. Now, please leave. The door here leads out onto the palace balcony. You should be able to make your way down from there. Go, and never return.
No problem there. Nice. Pretty cool.
Are they?
Okay, so let's see. I know how to get the upper cistern, so I can do that. Yeah, there she is.
May Apollo keep you safe. Feeling all right? You made it into the palace. I'm impressed. How is Nevia? Willowback, I should have known. It was under my nose the whole time. If this works, it should settle Rufius down some. I have some right here. Could you do me a favor and give him some of this? He'll just need to swallow a pinch of it. I'm hoping it will avert disaster. Thank you. I'm really glad. That's a...
You look well, my sartorial friend.
May Apollo keep you safe.
Ooh. Nice, opening up the secrets. Ulpius loved Scintilla. Corrected to Ulpius killed Scintilla. Ooh. This place is called Accursed. You talents cannot cast drops of water in the tree grass how to lead you, Sisyphus. Attacker pursue the stone that always returns. Action turns, falls after himself and flees. Yes, it is. Well, it sounds like rambling, but. I guess be kinder to you than they were to us, stranger. Aww.
Wonder how much
Horatius?
statues is worth on
Looking
the
a bit
outside.
troubled there.
Oh, yeah. Hello there, partner. I'm glad you're here. I think there might have been some confusion about my little practical joke earlier. You see, my plan was to give you a little fright. You know, like two friends joking around with a Saturnalia, and then surprise, I'd open the door. But when I opened it, you were gone.
What if she's out there somewhere?
Partner, I swear,
waiting to be found?
this is just a misunderstanding. Look, why don't you keep our boat as compensation?
Try to relax. Get some rest. Tomorrow's
Fine. It's a credit to you that you're able to see the humour in all of this. Now, can I help you with something? Very well. Another time.
Handsome.
Here is proof of a degenerate mind.
We have nothing to say to you, Kaput. I have nothing to say.
Salve again, my Sisyphus. No. All right, friend.
Ah, back again. Very well.
I wonder if I have to restart the whole thing.
You're trespassing. Get out, now. Galerius?
Horatius? Looking a bit
I
troubled
love
there.
your clothes.
Still no sign of
So
Scintilla. I
exotic.
haven't slept right in 3 weeks.
Don't be too hard on yourself. From what I hear, nobody saw it coming. Anyway, I thought you Stoics weren't supposed to worry about things you can't control.
Yeah, but I keep thinking, what if there is something I can do?
I love your clothes.
What if she's out there
So
somewhere suffering,
exotic.
waiting to be found?
Sounds like you're torturing yourself. Leave that for the gods. Try to relax, get some rest. Tomorrow's a new day.
Yeah.
I suppose you're right.
I'm hearing crickets now.
Ave again. I don't, I'm afraid. See you again.
So you survived the system. Probably just a stroke of Fortuna. What now? Whatever.
And now, I make this solemn promise to you, good citizens. And now, I make this solemn promise to you, good citizens. Under
Somebody's sobbing. The person who captured. I forget the name.
Thereby, I hereby announce the day of...
Ooh. Julia to your captors, Les and Claudia curse you to the death. By the time you read this, I'll already be dead. Because death is preferable to another day in depth bondage with you. May vultures peck out your livers in Tartarus for all of eternity. Okay. I will call it quits for now, but when I'm back, I will talk to him, see if I can get him to drop out. Well, I might have to loop this again to do that, but I'll investigate with him. I see no reason why I shouldn't talk to him. And then I'm going to go get to the cistern, unless doing that just gets me to the palace. I don't think so, though. Whew, man, a lot of progress. And I am liking the game even more.